Let's go, Ollie. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you have joined me again in the Leadership Collective podcast. Here we are. We're out wandering, heading into the Aussie bush again. Such a beautiful place. It's been raining, so it's wet everywhere. But the sun is shining today. It's beautiful. So Ollie's soaked, as you can imagine, but he's loving it. Today we're going to talk about a really important part and really the core of what you do as an emerging leader, and then follows you through as a senior leader. This one becomes your core. And in a world today where there is such a deficit of this, I thought this would be really critical. And it's trust. In today's world, we really do distrust our leaders. We're skeptical. We wonder whether what they're saying is true and right. We get sound bites from political leaders. Then we get another sound bite that says the opposite. And then they change their minds, which is okay. A good leader will recognize they got something wrong, but that's not typically how they change their mind. It's not, I got it wrong. I'm making an adjustment. You will change. And that's difficult to walk through. But if you don't have an account of trust in the people that you lead, when you change, it really can be detrimental to the point of losing jobs, losing favor, losing influence. We think of all the major scandals have all included a breach of trust. Okay, think of your own life where you have been hurt or offended. Typically in that, it is a breach of trust that has occurred. A friend wasn't a friend. What they said they did not follow through on. In fact, the opposite, and negatively impacted you, or a parent figure, wasn't parenting with kindness and protection and teaching you. A boss said one thing and then did another. Whatever it is, it's a breach of trust. And so this thing becomes really core for you into your journey. So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's give you some tools and a simple framework to hopefully ask yourself, how is my trust account? Not your financial one, your people one. All right, with the team you lead and with the leaders that lead you. Let's go.
We just take this moment just as we get started to invite you to do two things for us. One is to subscribe to the podcast. This really helps this grow and expand. So if you can take a moment and hit subscribe right now, no matter what platform you're on, that would be hugely appreciated and would help us expand this podcast to be able to get more and more people involved. And second thing, I would encourage you to join the Leadership Collective. It is a subscription. It's $9.90 Australian a month. So it's not a big investment, but it allows you to access resources and discussions and coaching and mentoring by leaders and the community around the globe. It's growing. It's in the beginning stages, so it is a place where you get to be one of the founding groups of young and emerging leaders, and we invite you into that. So take a moment if you can, subscribe and check out the Leadership Collective.
Well, we'll kick off with, what does it look like? Okay, so let's think of a bank account. Every interaction that you do with your bank either adds to the balance or takes away from the balance. Okay? That's it. We're either purchasing something and taking away, or you're putting money in, getting paid, investments, savings, whatever it is. All right? And that has consequence. I can't escape it. It's like gravity. Can't escape consequence. All right? And so these things hold to be true all the time. So as we think about trust, we think about those interactions that you have with each of your team members every day. Every single one builds up trust or takes away trust. Okay? So you can think today, what have I done today that has built up trust? Am I late on something? Did I turn up late? Have I not fulfilled something that I said I would? Am I holding back? Am I doing it with half the effort? Okay, because that gets noticed as well. All right, so think about the bank account all the time when we think about this trust. All right, your daily tasks, everything you do either builds it or takes away. You can't ever not take away. You will make decisions at time that either you got it wrong, what you thought you were going to do, you now have to change, and you will take away. Now, people can live with a bit of that. That's called vulnerability. All right, so I can be vulnerable to a point where, I messed up. I didn't do it right. I'm sorry. I need to get this and make the changes today. I didn't finish the report on time. I didn't turn up on time. I didn't ring that customer. Those little things happen. Okay, so you can get some takeaways, but if that's all that ever happens, if all you ever do is, no, I haven't rung that customer. No, I haven't rung that customer. No, I haven't rung that customer. And you don't have an interaction that builds that trust, that says, hey, I just rang that customer and here's the result. I just followed up my team member and here's the result. And so you need to have pluses to build that. If all you do are negatives, when that runs out, okay, the relationship will break down. All right, that could be a work relationship, personal relationship, partner, husband and wife relationship. You've got to be investing in. Okay, and this is what political leaders try and do all the time with you. You may not realize it, but we're going to put some positives in. And they may even only tell you the positives, they're not going to tell you the negatives. It's just a tax policy that happened in the UK government recently where we're going to give you free this. And in the background, they adjusted the tax framework in that you're now going to get taxed more, which ends up being more than what they just gave you free. And loads of governments do this. I'm just reflecting on that because it's front of mind of me today. A lot of governments, state governments, in Australia, your councils, we're going to give you this. So they're putting in, trust us. We're going to make it cheaper for you. And in the background, make decisions to put debt on the table, and that's a large scale, but that's what they're doing all the time. They're trying to win, to go, you know what, we can deal with some negatives. We've got to get some positives on the table so they feel like we're working for them. Okay? That's not new. That's been going on for centuries. Okay? But bring that down to your team. All right? We must invest and build trust in our team. We must do those actions. Okay, so we'll talk a bit about that in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about what kind of trust, because I can trust that a member of my team will always be 5 minutes late. Oh, Johnny's always 5 minutes late. It's okay. You're trusting that. Trust is a weird thing. That's a trust. Okay, that is predictability. I can predict she will always do that work great. Okay. She's going to always turn up. He will always speak well, whatever it is. Okay. You can predict. All right. Now, you can predict the negative and predict the positive. You know, we all have that. I'm sure the CEO that I work with at the moment, she could predict the positive and predict the negative. As she walks with me and seeing me work. Okay, so it's predictability, but Patrick Lencioni and building teams, you know, the bottom foundation, if you want to look that up, is trust. Okay, but we're talking about a vulnerability trust. And this is the ability to go, you know what, I stuffed up, but I'm gonna correct it. Not just I stuffed up, oh, I stuffed up, oh, I stuffed up, oh, I stuffed up. You can't keep doing that. But when you make a wrong decision or you don't follow through, you actually respond, take action, and repair the situation. Take responsibility. Okay, but vulnerability is the beginning part of that. All right. You've got to have a workplace that has a level of vulnerability. We're not after people to have confessionals in corners of offices. You know, my deepest, darkest wrongdoings I'm going to share because I want to be vulnerable. No, it's not what we do. We're talking about the environment, the context of the role that you're in. So my vulnerability with my wife is different than vulnerability with my kids, with my friends, with my family, okay, to my workplace. They're different. Okay, but the value that I want to hold, and I want to be someone who is vulnerable. I want to be transparent. I want to be real. I want to be authentic. These are all words that you would have heard in many political slogans. Okay, because it's what they want to be. We are a transparent government. I haven't met one yet. There's always a level of secrecy in any institution. And wherever you work today, there is some secrecy. All right? Some of that is appropriate. You don't welcome your Monday morning meeting by giving the latest financials. Maybe that's for another setting. Or maybe it needs more explanation. Okay? But you don't tell everybody at Monday morning meeting that we are thriving and bursting and got all sorts of things going on, and then fire 10 people at 10 a.m. See the difference? You can't send two messages really close to each other that are opposite. So what do? Do you send two messages? Hey team, I really love leading you guys, but you never turn up. You're never with them. You're never around them. You don't hear their story. You know, so actions and words are key. So we want that vulnerability, trust, not just predictability. Brené Brown is another author you should read in this space. She has a great TED talk on vulnerability. And anyone who tries to replicate it is just silly. Just point to it and say, there you go. There's the standard. Go for it. All right. So look up Brené Brown, vulnerability TED talk. You will enjoy it. Okay. So there's two different contrasts for you to think about in the predictability versus vulnerability. All right. We don't just want predictability trust. That will happen by default. Okay. Vulnerability takes time, effort, and a level of safety in the organization that if I say I messed up, I'm not going to get crucified. Okay. I'll take responsibility for my actions. Okay. But I'm not going to become the scapegoat. All right. So it's hard work, not easy, but well worth it. All right, so how do we build trust? Let's go into that, shall we? I'm going to give you some really simple things to help you. Okay, so if you can apply these this week, and we'll talk about application. Shall we hit the hill, Ollie? These guys are going to get me puffing, but hey, we'll go up the hill. Let's go. Let's talk about competence, consistency, and candor. Okay, let's think about that. Competence, consistency, all right, and candor. All right, so competence, do you know your stuff? Leaders, you need to know your stuff. We've talked about this in other sessions, but hey, if you are not competent, all right, your ability to do something, then you probably shouldn't be leading. Okay, but there's always areas you're developing as well. You're not the perfect leader. Okay, so that's why you're here. Leadership Collective, you're wanting to learn and grow. Okay, so competence is really important. All right, we're hitting the hill. It's going well. Okay, consistency. All right, do you do what you say? This is hard to maintain, but it's integrity. Actions and words, as soon as they disalign, you lack integrity. And I've seen integrity as a value in so many organizations, but actions and words in the culture of that team and organization don't align at all. So consistency is the antidote. Turn up every day. Give your best that you can. Okay. Do what you say you will do. Follow through. Okay. If you didn't do it, get it done. Recognize that. I missed the mark. Whatever it is. Consistency is key. Lack of consistency, usually you don't end up being a leader. If you want to become more of a leader and more influence, you must follow through on what you said you would do. Okay. So let's talk about the third C, Candor, being honest and direct. Okay. If we build vulnerability-based trust, this works. Being honest and direct is not being arrogant and bullish. Okay. Very different. Okay. I can be honest and kind. All right. Doesn't mean I agree. I don't have to agree with you. I can be direct, but I learn how to be direct in a way that helps you see what it is I'm asking. Okay. So learn those skills. How do you become honest and direct without being arrogant and bullish or, don't be that workplace prick. Okay. All right. Don't be that nasty person in the corner office or the supervisor that no one wants to speak to because, don't be that. All right. And don't use it as an excuse. Many a leader that I've just got a direct communication style. No, you don't. Okay. All right. You have a bad communication style. Okay. Some cultures. I lived in the Netherlands for nearly 3 months and my wife was there doing a school, and the Dutch are very direct. Okay. It's fabulous. But direct and character assassination don't have to be connected. Character assassination And gossiping is not being direct. I'm telling the truth in love. Well, that's the worst phrase I've heard in my life. That's sometimes been used for the biggest criticisms and whinging moments that I've heard in team members and leaders. Someone's got to tell them the truth. I'll take up the mantle. Well, you can. That's where you have candid conversations. Okay? You can have those difficult conversations, all right, but you learn the skill in how to do it. But in your team, you're candid, you're clear. All right? Here's the target, here's the goal, here's what I expect. Here's what we want to see. Do we all agree? Are we in? Bring them on that journey. Now, you're not spineless, just being led by the loudest voice, afraid to deal with the issues that are evident. You've got people burning culture in your teams, but you can't deal with it because you're afraid that you might get cancelled or be accused of being an authoritarian leader. And, candid conversations are a really critical skill for you to learn. So it's enough in Candor. We talked a bit about that. All right. Let's give you some action points to bring you home. All right. Really simple ones. I'm going to give you 2 to do. All right. Somewhere in this week. Okay. If you get asked a question and you don't know, then say, I don't know, but don't end there. Okay. Leaders don't end with that phrase. Leaders go, I don't know what happened. I don't know about that. I'm unsure about that. But then they have a second line, really critical. But I will discover and come back around to you and give you an answer or a solution on that to the best that I can. Okay? All right? So we don't just go, well, I don't know. See, it's left hanging. I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to work it out. It's just left hanging. All right? So this week, I want you to bolt those 2 together in your conversations. Look, I don't know, boss. I don't know, team member. Okay, but I'm going to find out. Okay, and I'm going to get back to you. Now, we're going to find out. We're going to discover. But I'm also going to come back to you and bring you an answer to the best that I can. Okay? And then the second action to do this week, all right, is to write down some things that you've promised that you would do, say over the last week or 2 weeks. Find the ones that you haven't done yet and close the loop. Get them done, follow up. Sorry, I haven't done that. I'll get that done. Find a solution. Okay? So action 1, I don't know, but I'm going to find out and come back to you. Number 2, what are the things you've promised that you would do? Get them actioned. Okay? Well, as Ollie and I wrap up this episode, get to the top of the hill, been a great walk. I hope you have learnt some things that you can look about with trust this week. Trust is such an important part of our teams, of every relationship that we hold dear. Our friendships, our loved ones, our workplaces. We must build trust. Think of that bank account. Think about those key relationships in your network. And what's your bank account with each of them? Is it low? Is it high? And how you're going to build it and change it in your journey. as a leader to be successful in all you do. Enjoy your week. We'll see you in the next episode of the Leadership Collective.
I want to say a wonderful thank you to the end of this episode. And I hope that you have learnt a lot in this time and journey with me on my walk with my beautiful dog, Ollie, here in the Australian bush. I want to shout out again to each of you in the Leadership Collective. This will be part of our discussions, but those of you who are not, I invite you to join us. And this is a place where new and emerging leaders can come and share and be a part and ask questions and gain the mentoring and the coaching that you need to succeed in this very busy, this very fast-paced world in which we live in. So I want to see you thrive. I invite you to join the Leadership Collective, and thank you again, and see you shortly in the next episode of the Leadership Collective podcast. That's it from me.